friends, and welcome back to Faith in the Valley with Dee. For those of you who are new here, my name is Dee Kikwendu. So, wherever you are in the world right now, I hope that you are well. So, today I am going to share day 3 of my back injury story. And for those of you who don't know, if you want to have a catch up, do check out my earlier emails that I have recorded for you. So, day 3 started off as a day which was filled with exhaustion and pain, and also it reminded me of how kindness and compassion and prayer really counts in those small moments of grace. And those moments can still reach us in places, even when we're hurting. So I'll share my account with you so you have some insight into what I was experiencing at the time. So I was woken up at around 6:39, just had my blood pressure taken, and at that point I think it was around 154/99. And honestly, I'd only just fallen asleep at about 4 a.m. that morning. And the reason why was because it had been another awful night. And the best way that I can kind of describe like how the pain felt in the morning was almost like, you know, when you have a local anesthetic and it slowly starts to wear off, and then everything that you suddenly thought you couldn't feel anymore, you feel it. You feel everything straight away. It just felt horrendous. And it almost felt like the left side of my back was separating itself. So every time I moved or I tried to reposition myself, it was just the most excruciating pain I've ever felt. And the thing is, without the morphine, the pain I would describe as around 8 to 9 out of 10. Never felt anything like that before. And the thing is, the morphine completely killed the pain when I was given it to help me. But the thing is that the reality is I can't live off of morphine, every day. It's just not sustainable. And so at that point, I really started to wonder if the physiotherapist, by the time they came round to see me, if they had any solutions or guidance in terms of how I could just maneuver myself and just to manage myself. And the thing is as well, is that because taking the medication that I was prescribed, so the cocodamol and the ibuprofen as well at the time, and also as well, they're not options that I can rely on forever to manage my pain. And the amount of exhaustion that I felt, I really felt quite tired. I was just aching and I just couldn't rest much at all. And I think for me, as the medication started to wear off, that's when I could feel the pain just rushing back, and it was just a really horrible position to be in, like every few hours or so. And coupled with that, because I couldn't sleep much the night before, and the reason being was because of the cries of discomfort from other patients on the ward. And so sleep literally felt like it was impossible. But you know what? There are small wins when I reflect on that day 3 in the ward. And it really is about, I suppose it might sound funny to you, but by mid morning, I was still feeling quite constipated because of the medication that I was taking. And the thing is that God really helped me. And so at around 10:25, I was on the toilet for about 20 to 25 minutes, and I managed to have a bowel movement. Now that might not sound like a great deal to you, but for me, it was a really significant achievement. And it might sound small, but if you've ever felt how your body no longer works the way that it used to, then a moment like that can mean everything. And that's exactly how I felt in that moment. And I think especially because the last time that I actually managed to have a bowel movement or to pass any urine was on the 4th of April. And for those of you who don't know, on that same morning, that was the time that I lost control of my bladder. I lost control of my bowels, like completely. And that was also the same morning that all the symptoms around um, the cauda equina syndrome being triggered, because I felt numb in my legs as well. So I literally felt paralyzed. And so, in reflection, you know, it felt like a massive achievement at the time, and I don't take it for granted, even as I reflect um, this with you. But going back to the experience of the ward, I think one of the things that I really appreciate is how people can actually really make a difference. And on that day in the ward, I was cared for by two really wonderful nurses. And the first nurse was called Donna, and she was a Jamaican. And the second nurse who really took good care of me was called Sophie. And both of them showed such compassion and kindness and patience towards me. And not only just towards me, but to others on the ward as well. And I think because of their approach, what felt like a really hard day, being in the orthopedic ward and being in this difficult situation, their approach made a hard day feel much softer. And that is something that I will not forget. And also, as well, I think that, sometimes your healing can come in other ways. So, yes, there was a medication to help manage my pain relief, but also, I think the kindness that I was shown by these nurses was also a form of relief, a form of healing. And I'm so grateful, like, for them. Wherever they are right now, I genuinely hope that they are well. And so my blood pressure readings continued. So I think the next round, my blood pressure was 148 over 88, and then I think that was at around 1:50 in the afternoon or so. And then by early evening, just after 6:30, my blood pressure was 154 over 91. So my blood pressure wasn't that great, but I didn't feel as panicked as I did before in comparison to my earlier experience when I was in A&E, which, for those of you who don't know the story, do go and check out the video so that you understand what it is I'm talking about in terms of high blood pressure. But you know what? Despite everything, I kept praying. And in reflection, I wasn't really looking forward to that night and having to potentially go through another awful night of a lack of sleep. And to be honest with you, the fear did start to take over me a little bit, because the sleepless night, the impact of that really started to impact my overall kind of just physical well-being, feeling quite tired as well. But despite that, I still kept praying. And even when I felt tired, even when my back was in the most awful, excruciating pain, and even when I didn't know, what nurses were going to take care of me during that night shift, all this anxiety, but I still kept praying. And the truth is, God was still with me. Even going through that, He was still there. And the truth is, even during the pain, even during the uncertainty, even during the anxiety, he was still there. And even at the times when there were moments of silence or moments when I felt quite alone, he was still there because I could feel his presence. So if you're on your own and you're traveling through your own valley right now, whether it's emotional or physical or mental, I want to remind you that you're not alone. You're not alone because I know how it feels. And even when your body is aching, even when you don't know what's happening next, even when you feel exhausted to the point where all you want to do is sleep, he's still there. His presence is still there. And he sees you. So, if you're still stuck in your valley, be reminded that he's still walking with you. And so, friends, I thank you for listening to this part of my back injury story. I hope that it has encouraged you in some way. And if this story has touched you, then, I would love to hear about your own healing journey. I would love to hear about the valley that you're currently walking through. And please do share in the comments below. But if you would like me to share your story on your behalf, then my details are in the description below also. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Faith in the Valley with me, Deekly, and you'll receive more honest stories, more encouragement, and more hope, because there is always hope, even when it doesn't feel like it. So until the next time, please be gentle and kind to yourself and let grace carry you when your body cannot. And wherever you are, I look forward to seeing you again. And wherever you are, may grace meet you exactly where you are. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.